We're at the Moccasin Flood Control Project. It's a 1.5 miles long up the road, and it's kind of lower than the surrounding area.
When a 65-year-old builder named Bill began digging behind his home, no one expected what he was about to reveal. Beneath his quiet backyard, he created an underground structure so advanced that professional engineers were left speechless. What started as a simple tower project became the doorway to a network of mind-bending underground systems, now reshaping construction itself. From self-healing concrete to flood-defying chambers, these hidden structures are redefining how humanity builds its world from below the surface. Bill's underground tower. No one expected a 65-year-old retired builder named Bill to create one of the most astonishing home constructions ever seen. In a quiet American town, Bill decided to spend his retirement building something that would outlast him. A self-designed watchtower with an underground living system built entirely by hand. After completing his home and landscaping, Bill wanted one final addition: a high vantage point where he could view the surrounding countryside. Instead of hiring contractors, he poured his own concrete foundation and designed a multi-level tower that rises above ground and extends deep beneath it. The upper structure functions as a viewing deck, while the lower section conceals a reinforced underground bunker connected by a narrow spiral staircase. The bunker isn't decorative, it's functional, complete with storage rooms, a water recycling system, and passive ventilation shafts that maintain a constant temperature. What makes Bill's project so rare is not the concept, but the execution. He didn't use corporate equipment or pre-made panels. Every layer of the structure was mixed, poured, and sealed manually, using small-scale concrete mixers and traditional reinforcement bars. His walls are lined with polymer membranes and gravel layers to control moisture, an approach usually seen in professional storm shelters. The result is an underground system that's completely waterproof, naturally insulated, and able to withstand extreme weather. Experts who reviewed the footage called it impossible for one man to build. Yet Bill's attention to detail is what makes it work. The airflow is carefully designed so that no machinery is required to keep it ventilated. Small vertical ducts pull warm air up while cooler air enters from lower vents, creating a self-sustaining air loop. The tower above ground may look simple, but what's underneath it is what shocked engineers. Bill effectively created a personal survival base hidden beneath a family home, using skills he learned over decades of construction work. There are no fancy electronics, no contractors, just precision, patience, and an old builder's will to prove what experience can accomplish. What makes Bill's underground tower incredible is that it blends old-fashioned craftsmanship with modern survival logic. This next discovery will take you by surprise. Frankie Shergoyle STB. At first glance, the Frankie Shergoyle STB looks like nothing more than a series of plastic boxes buried underground. In reality, it is one of the most advanced flood prevention systems ever designed. This underground structure is so effective that entire cities now rely on it to manage stormwater and prevent devastating floods. What makes it shocking is how simple it looks compared to what it actually does. The system is built from modular plastic units that connect together like building blocks. Each module is lightweight yet strong enough to support the weight of roads, buildings, and vehicles above it. Construction begins with workers digging deep trenches beneath urban streets or open fields. The modules are lowered into place one by one, forming a massive underground grid that acts like a hidden reservoir. Once the modules are connected, the structure is wrapped in a water-permeable membrane that allows rainwater to pass through while keeping soil and debris out. The ground above is then sealed and restored, leaving no visible sign of what lies below. During heavy rainfall, stormwater that would normally flood streets is channeled into the Frankie Shergoyle STB system through underground drains. The water fills the hollow chambers of the modules, where it is temporarily stored. Instead of overwhelming city drains or sewers, the system gradually releases the collected water back into the soil over several hours or days. This slow release prevents flooding and helps replenish groundwater. The materials used are surprisingly advanced. Each plastic module is made from high-density polyethylene, which is resistant to corrosion, pressure, and chemicals found in urban runoff. The design allows maintenance teams to access the interior for cleaning or inspection, something older concrete systems could not easily achieve. What makes this underground construction so remarkable is that it is invisible yet essential. It can hold millions of liters of water without affecting the ground above. Roads, parks, and even buildings can be built on top of it. Cities that install the Frankie-Chergoyle STB have reported massive reductions in flood damage and infrastructure wear. While the Frankie-Chergoyle STB collects and releases rainwater like a living reservoir, the box cover culvert system takes that same principle and scales it up to the size of an underground highway for flood control. Box cover culvert system. Few people realize that beneath many city streets lies a massive network of concrete tunnels silently carrying away stormwater. This system, known as the box cover culvert system, is one of the most important yet least visible engineering projects in modern urban design.
At Shea Murdoch, not only do we do box culverts, but there are also similar types of structures to box culverts that we would also manufacture on a regular basis.
It looks simple, just large rectangular boxes buried underground, but its scale and purpose make it one of the most critical defenses against flooding ever built. Construction begins with the excavation of a deep and wide trench, often stretching hundreds of meters beneath busy roads or open land. Using heavy cranes, workers lower multi-ton reinforced concrete sections into the trench one by one. Each section is shaped like a hollow box, with thick concrete walls designed to withstand enormous pressure from both soil and surface load. Once aligned, the joints between boxes are sealed with rubber gaskets and waterproof mortar, creating a continuous tunnel that can carry huge volumes of water. The entire system is then covered with layers of compacted soil, asphalt, or concrete pavement, restoring the surface for normal use. When heavy rain hits, the box cover culvert system comes to life. Water from streets and drains flows directly into these underground passages, moving swiftly through the network and out toward rivers or designated discharge areas. The culverts prevent water from pooling in urban centers, keeping roads dry and infrastructure safe. In some regions, the tunnels are so large that maintenance crews can walk through them upright or even drive small service vehicles inside for inspection. The materials used are built to last for decades. Each box section is made from pre-stressed reinforced concrete that resists cracking and corrosion. Some advanced versions also integrate fiber reinforcement for extra strength and reduced maintenance. Because the system is modular, it can be expanded or repaired without shutting down entire sections of a city's drainage system. What makes the box cover culvert system truly remarkable is its invisibility. Once construction is complete, there is no visible trace of the massive structure below, yet it protects entire neighborhoods from floods that could otherwise cause millions in damage. While massive drainage tunnels protect cities from flooding, not every battle against water happens on such a large scale. Sometimes the danger starts inside the walls and foundations themselves, where small cracks can destroy entire structures if left untreated. That is where a powerful underground solution called MC Inject 2133 comes in. MC Inject 2133. In the world of construction, cracks are often seen as the first sign of failure. Water leaks, crumbling foundations, and collapsing walls all begin with hairline fractures that spread silently over time. MC Inject 2133 is the invention that changed that story. It looks like an ordinary liquid, but when injected into damaged concrete, it transforms into a solid barrier that seals the structure from within. What makes it so shocking is how it behaves once it enters the cracks. It finds the weakest points, hardens instantly, and becomes part of the concrete itself. Construction teams use MC Inject 2133 when a structure begins leaking or losing stability. The process starts by drilling small entry holes along the cracked area. Through these holes, the liquid resin is injected using a pressure pump.
This is the first time that the team of Union Infrastructure works with such acrylic gels with a two-component piston pump and the complete injection system, including also these special or bigger injection packers.
As the resin travels through the crack, it reacts with moisture and expands to fill even the tiniest gaps. Within minutes, it solidifies into a rock-hard polymer that bonds permanently with the concrete around it. Unlike surface patching, this repair happens deep inside the wall, forming an invisible but lasting seal. The material is made from hydrophilic polyurethane, a compound that reacts with water instead of breaking down in it. That means the wetter the crack, the faster and stronger the reaction becomes. Once cured, the resin remains flexible enough to move with the structure, preventing new cracks from forming when temperatures or pressure change. It is resistant to chemicals, salt, and corrosion, making it ideal for underground tunnels, basements, and foundations that are constantly exposed to moisture. What makes MC Inject 2133 so rare is that it allows engineers to repair structures without dismantling them. A building that might once have been written off as unsafe can now be stabilized in hours instead of months. The liquid flows into fractures no human hand could reach, sealing off leaks and strengthening weak spots from the inside. In testing, the material has restored leaking dams, bridges, and underground facilities that were thought to be beyond repair. Engineers often describe it as giving new life to old concrete, while MC Inject 2133 restores damaged concrete from the inside. Another hidden layer of protection works quietly on the surface to prevent damage before it ever begins. Schluter-Dietra. Most homeowners never see it, but beneath many tiled floors lies one of the most important inventions in modern construction. It is called Schluter-Dietra, and it is the reason why kitchens, bathrooms, and balconies no longer crack or leak over time. What looks like a simple orange sheet is actually a highly engineered waterproofing and stress control system that has become a quiet revolution in building design. The Schluter-Dietra system begins with a thin polyethylene membrane that has a grid of square cavities across its surface. During installation, workers first clean and level the subfloor, then spread a layer of thin-set mortar. The Dietra mat is pressed into place on top, bonding firmly to the mortar below. Its upper surface is designed to grip the next layer of mortar and tile, creating a strong yet flexible link between the floor layers. The result is a floor system that can handle expansion, movement, and moisture without breaking apart. The secret lies in the mat's structure. The grid pattern acts like a miniature shock absorber. When the building shifts slightly due to temperature or pressure, the Dietra layer absorbs that movement.
The functions of Dietra in general.
Correct, and so both Dietra membranes that we offer 4 functions. The functions are uncoupling, waterproofing, vapor management, and support load distribution.
Preventing it from reaching the tiles. That means no cracks in the grout, no lifting tiles, and no long-term water infiltration. The underside of the mat has small air channels that allow moisture to evaporate, keeping the subfloor completely dry. This system also functions as a full waterproof barrier. Once the seams between mats are sealed with waterproof tape, water cannot penetrate through to the concrete or wood below. In bathrooms or kitchens, where water exposure is constant, this protection is essential. Traditional tile installations often fail over time because water slowly seeps into tiny gaps. Dietra eliminates that weakness entirely. What makes Schluter-Dietra so unique is its versatility. It can be installed on concrete, wood, or even heated floors, and it remains unaffected by temperature swings. Builders call it the invisible armor of modern flooring, because once the tiles are laid, the mat completely disappears from sight. While Schluter-Dietra guards the inside of buildings from hidden water damage, there's another secret buried just beneath the open air. Beneath rooftops, terraces, and outdoor spaces exposed to relentless rain and heat lies a system most people never realize exists. Bara-Alu system. When you walk across a perfectly level terrace or rooftop deck, it feels simple and solid under your feet. Yet beneath that surface lies a system that makes such precision possible. It is called the Bara-Alu system, and it has quietly transformed how outdoor flooring is built. What makes it so fascinating is that almost no one ever sees it, even though it is the very structure keeping everything above it stable and dry. The Bara-Alu system begins with a lightweight aluminum framework assembled piece by piece across the terrace base. Each component locks together to form a flat lattice, which becomes the foundation for tiles, stone panels, or composite boards. Workers install adjustable supports under the frame to correct any uneven ground, ensuring that the surface above is completely level. Once the framework is complete, the visible flooring is added on top, giving the appearance of a smooth, seamless terrace. The brilliance of the system lies in what happens underneath. The aluminum frame creates an open space that allows water to drain away instantly through channels between the supports. Even during heavy rain, no water accumulates because it flows freely to drainage points hidden at the edges. This prevents damage from freezing, expansion, or trapped moisture, issues that often ruin outdoor structures over time. Each aluminum section is coated with corrosion-resistant material, allowing it to survive years of exposure to weather without weakening. The material is both light and strong, meaning it can support heavy furniture, foot traffic, and even small installations without bending or shifting. Unlike traditional concrete bases, which crack or trap moisture, this system stays dry and flexible. The Bara-Alu system's design also makes maintenance easy. Tiles or panels can be lifted and replaced without tearing up the foundation beneath. That feature alone saves builders time and money while extending the lifespan of the terrace. The Bara-Alu system keeps terraces firm and level, but modern construction also needs materials that make entire buildings faster and easier to build. That challenge led to the rise of lightweight concrete panels. Lightweight concrete panels. Modern construction often struggles with one major problem: time. Traditional concrete is strong, but it is heavy, slow to install, and difficult to work with. That problem led engineers to develop lightweight concrete panels, a material that completely changes how buildings are made. These panels are so light that workers can lift them by hand or crane without the strain of traditional blocks. Yet they remain tough enough to handle structural loads that once required full concrete walls. Each panel is made using a refined mix of cement, sand, and lightweight aggregates, such as expanded clay or foam beads. The result is a dense but low-weight composite that combines strength with insulation. During production, the panels are poured into steel molds and cured under controlled pressure, creating a smooth surface and uniform thickness. Once delivered to a site, workers can simply set them into place and seal the joints with adhesive mortar or metal connectors. The process eliminates long drying times and complex framework construction. Because they are lighter, these panels drastically reduce the weight on foundations, allowing architects to design taller or more flexible structures on the same base. They also provide excellent heat and sound insulation, which means walls made from them stay cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Builders prefer them for schools, homes, and large industrial projects where speed, cost, and energy efficiency matter most. The panels are also fire-resistant and highly durable against moisture, making them ideal for both above-ground and underground installations. In earthquake-prone regions, their reduced mass lowers the risk of collapse by minimizing inertia forces. The strength-to-weight ratio of these panels makes them one of the most efficient modern building materials available. What makes this innovation truly shocking is how quickly it can transform a construction site. Buildings that once took months to complete can now rise in weeks. Floors and walls are assembled almost like puzzle pieces, cutting labor costs and reducing waste. With lightweight panels speeding up the way structures take shape, the next challenge engineers faced was extending that efficiency underground, where repairing old systems has always been slow and disruptive. That is where Sekosi SPR emerged, offering a completely new way to restore buried infrastructure without even digging it up. Sekosi SPR. Repairing old pipelines and buried infrastructure has always been one of the hardest challenges in civil engineering. Traditional methods required entire streets to be torn apart just to replace cracked or corroded pipes. Then came Sekosi SPR, a breakthrough system that changed the process completely. Instead of digging up the ground, engineers can now rebuild pipes and tunnels from the inside, saving time, money, and cities from chaos. Sekosi SPR works by inserting a flexible liner into a damaged pipe through an existing access point, such as a manhole. Once inside, the liner expands and molds tightly to the interior surface of the pipe. It is then reinforced with a layer of polymer composite that hardens into a smooth, durable wall. The result is a brand new pipe formed within the old one. This process seals leaks, strengthens weak areas, and restores full flow capacity without removing a single section of the original structure. The materials used are specially designed to resist corrosion, high pressure, and chemical exposure. The new lining is smoother than concrete, allowing water and waste to move faster through the system while reducing blockages. Workers control the entire process remotely, guiding robotic cameras that ensure the liner bonds correctly along every inch of the old pipe. Cities that have adopted Sekosi SPR have reported massive savings and reduced traffic disruptions. A repair project that used to take weeks can now be completed in a matter of days. More importantly, the technology prevents future collapse by extending the life of underground infrastructure by decades. From storm drains to sewage tunnels, it has become the quiet guardian of urban stability. As underground repair technology like Sekosi SPR improves the foundations of cities, another engineering marvel takes the concept of foundation strength to its highest level, literally. Burj Khalifa foundations. When construction began on the Burj Khalifa, engineers faced a challenge unlike any before it. Building the tallest structure on Earth meant finding a way to anchor it deep enough to withstand both gravity and the forces of wind that push against it. The result was one of the most extraordinary underground constructions in history, the Burj Khalifa Foundation, a concrete base so deep and strong that it supports over 160 floors reaching nearly a kilometer into the sky. The foundation begins with a massive reinforced concrete mat that measures more than 3 meters thick. This mat spreads across the base of the structure like a giant platform, distributing the immense weight of the building evenly across the ground. Beneath it, engineers installed 192 reinforced concrete piles, each stretching more than 50 meters into the earth until they reached solid bedrock. These piles act like underground pillars, gripping the rock beneath Dubai's sandy soil to prevent any shifting or settlement over time. Each pile was formed by drilling deep shafts into the ground, inserting steel reinforcement cages, and then filling them with high-strength concrete. The piles were tested individually to ensure they could bear extreme pressure. Once completed, the foundation was waterproofed with special membranes to protect it from the corrosive underground moisture of the region. The total weight of the foundation alone exceeds 58,000 tons, making it one of the heaviest ever poured for a single structure. The design also accounts for the natural expansion and movement of the building caused by temperature changes. The reinforced mat allows slight flexibility, ensuring that even under heavy winds or heat, the base remains stable and safe. This combination of depth, strength, and flexibility is what makes the Burj Khalifa stand firm, even during powerful desert storms. What makes this foundation truly remarkable is that it represents a blend of ancient and modern engineering. Deep piling methods have existed for centuries, but never at this scale or precision. The Burj Khalifa's success proved that with the right foundation, there is virtually no limit to how high humanity can build. To achieve this stability, engineers relied on even more specialized underground methods that have since become standard for skyscrapers around the world. These methods, known as board piles and diaphragm walls, take the same principles of the Burj Khalifa's foundation and apply them to create deep, watertight barriers and supports for modern megastructures. Board piles and diaphragm walls. Every skyscraper, no matter how tall or advanced, depends on what lies below the surface. The towering buildings we see above ground are only possible because of the quiet strength beneath them. That strength comes from board piles and diaphragm walls, two underground construction systems that form the invisible backbone of modern architecture. Together, they prevent collapse, control water, and hold back tons of soil that would otherwise crush the foundations of tall structures. Board piles are deep, reinforced concrete columns built directly into the earth. Engineers begin by drilling large circular holes that can reach depths of 60 meters or more. Steel cages are then lowered into the holes, and high-strength concrete is poured in to form a solid pillar. These piles work like buried support beams, transferring the enormous weight of the building above down to stable soil or bedrock below. By distributing the load this way, the entire structure remains balanced and steady, even under changing conditions, such as wind or shifting ground. Diaphragm walls serve a different but equally vital purpose. They are massive vertical barriers built by excavating narrow trenches around the perimeter of the foundation site and filling them with a special slurry mixture that prevents the walls from collapsing during construction. Reinforced concrete panels are then inserted into these trenches, forming watertight walls that keep groundwater and soil from pressing into the excavation area. Once completed, these walls can reach several meters thick and act as both retaining walls and part of the permanent foundation. The combination of board piles and diaphragm walls allows engineers to build safely in places where conditions would normally make construction impossible. They are especially crucial for skyscrapers, tunnels, and deep basements in areas with unstable or waterlogged soil. Without them, high-rise cities like Dubai, Shanghai, or Singapore could not exist in their current form. What makes these systems so remarkable is that they remain completely hidden once a building is finished. The public sees glass towers and shining facades, unaware of the deep structural systems that hold them steady. What do you think about these structures? Comment down below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.